The Palace of Speed. The chaos early on in this race.
I'll bet.
Hey, all right, we are good now, guys. Apologies for that. Hello and welcome to Spec-5 World Tour. We are here in race number 3 around Phillip Island. circuit. My name is Adam Thompson. I am joined in the commentary booth shortly by Alex Andersen, who seems to be having some computer difficulties at the moment. Hopefully he gets in here and you guys don't just have to listen to me all night. But you know what? Even if you do, it's not that big of a deal, right? Nah, oh no. Who cares? But anyways, before we get into qualifying here, let me give you a bit of information here on this very historic, legendary Phillip Island track located in Phillip Island in Victoria in Australia. Motor racing on Phillip Island began in 1928 with the running of the 100 miles road race, an event which has since become known as the first Australian Grand Prix. It utilized a high-speed rectangle of local closed-off public roads with 4 similar right-hand corners. The circuit was the venue for the Australian Grand Prix through to 1935, and it was used for the last time. Hi, Jimmy. It was used for the last time on May 6 of 1935 for the Jubilee Day races, a new 3.312 mile triangular circuit utilizing the pit straight from the original rectangular course was subsequently mapped out and first used for the Australian Race Drivers' Cup on November 5th of 1935. The current circuit has been in use since 1956. And guys, you can see there that this is the current circuit there up on your screen right now. But without further ado, we have a little bit of qualifying coming up here. I've been watching practice here quite a bit, and I want to pay attention big time to Ashley Lyle and Sean Hayes. They have, in the open class, are not that far off the biggest leaders here in the pro class with, for this pace that these guys have in the pro, it's really going to be pretty tight here between these two. Bring up some points here, actually, before we get here into the actual race. Might as well do it now. So in the Open Championship, you can see Ashley Lyle has won the first 2 races with Sean Hayes coming in second in both of those races. That's why there's only 2 points difference between those two, with Tom Athon there in third place with 96 points. Jose Gonzalez in fifth with 95. Bruce Silva, Paulo Coimbra, and Charles Vaccaro all separated by 2 points from 5th through 7th. Here in the pro class, it's about the same deal here. Ronnie Coates did a great job there in race number 1. Camden Hibbett came back there, race number 2. So 133 to 129 for those two. Rui Coimbra there in third place. Really still trying to get on form here in third place with 124 points. Otis Adams Jr. with 120. And Eugenio Polici rounds out the top 5. Simon Foweather and Michael Coates, though, again, 5th through 7th, only separated by 2 points. Going to be interesting to see what these guys can get done here tonight. But, again, let's go ahead and watch some cars on track here. Give you guys a bit of a lap around here since we were talking about Ronnie Coates, and he is the leader in the championship class. We'll go ahead and ride on board with him as he comes around, about to start his 3rd lap, so he should be able to get at least a bit of some track info for you guys. I am not really big on this track. I've raced it a few times. I know it's tricky, so we'll walk you through it here. He's about to come through turn 12 right now, down this big, long Gardner Straight, as you can see, and it's a lot longer than these Miatas. Got the dashboard pulled up there for you on the bottom right, so you can kind of see where he's going. Just started his lap now. Turn 1 is going to be very tricky. Actually, all these corners are very tricky, to be honest with you, because most of them are sweeping corners. Turn 1, get it turned in, ride as much of that curb as you can, get it out. But remember, you got to get back to the right here just a little bit. The big sweeping left-hander for turn 2. The Southern Loop is what this is called here. Now he's going to finally get out of this corner. As you can see, they just seem to go on forever. He's going to come into Stoner Corner. Shouldn't be too difficult in these Miatas. It's a lot more difficult when you get into vehicles that are going just a little faster than this. Through Stoner, turn 4, Miller Corner. Big, hard right hairpin on the brakes hard. Getting it down in there, taking a little bit of curb on the right-hand side. Going to let it wash out there to the left. Don't take too much because you got to get ready again for another left. They just keep coming at you. He's already gone through turn 5, turn 6 here. Siberia takes more curb. Now you got turn 7 coming up, which really isn't a corner, so he can take that. He's probably going to go outside to in here, and he's going to set himself up for turn 8, a snaking right-hander. You can see Doesn't even look like he's going to come out of the throttle, maybe just a little bit. Catches the curb now into turn 9. Lukey Heights going to take this as well as he can. Now, this is a blind because you come over this corner and then you got to get ready for turn 10, the right-hander downhill. You got to get on the brakes early. You're going downhill. It won't stop as quick as you want it to. Now, get it back right and then back left again for turn 11. Now he's going to be coming down the stretch before the front stretch, I would call it, into turn 12, another left-hand sweeper. You can see what he's doing right now on your screen. Hasn't really, gained any time through any of these sectors here. See what he can do. Right now he's sitting in second place with a 147.690. Doesn't look like he's going to beat that at all. Looks like he's going to run about a 148.6 on that lap. So that is not going to be good enough for him as Mitchell Peak goes to the top of the leaderboard there in the pros. Down here in the open class, we have Ashley Lyle down there in 12th place with Sean Hayes up there in 6th. This is when it's going to get interesting for these open class. If Sean Hayes can get a good result here tonight, with Ashley Lyle not doing so well, it's going to break this Open Championship right back open again, but that is yet to be seen. I was watching Ashley there in practice, and she was doing a great job. She was actually fastest in the Open class in practice and about 5th overall. So she knows what she's doing around here. It's just going to be interesting to see if she can get that done on race pace as well or not. Got a message here on the YouTube from Tomater. Says you can't race tonight because your shoulder's bothering you, man. Hopefully your shoulder gets to feeling better. But, yeah, anyways, riding on here with Ashley Lyle. We got Sean Hayes again up here. 6th place overall. Way fast. Way faster than everybody else there in the open class. David Staub has just taken that 12th place away from Ashley Lyle with Jerry DiPiero rounding out the top 3 for your open class. Doing a great job so far. But as you guys can see there on the top left, there's only 8 minutes into this qualifying. I do believe they get 4 laps. So, a lot of these drivers have already completed 3 laps. You can see Jerry right now, speaking of the devil, is on his 3rd lap, about to cross a line there for his 4th lap. See what he can do. Go ahead and ride on here with him for just a little while. Look at the bottom of your screen there. Ray Lombardi doing a great job. 2 green sectors, I apologize. About to come across the 3rd one. See what he can do. See what he can put his Pro Class Miata up to. Again, guys, you can see up there at the top of the screen, you've got red and blue. Red meaning Pro, blue meaning Open. These guys are driving the same cars. Ray Lombardi puts it up there into 14th position with a 148.125. But these people are driving the same cars. They are just classified by their their skill level. And I'm not saying that the open class drivers don't have skill, as you can see with Sean Hayes back there in 7th place, splitting basically those top 13 pro drivers down the middle. Going to be interesting to see what Sean Hayes can do from that position. Ashley Lyle looks like she has already completed her laps. So yeah, this is where Ashley's going to start. Sean Hayes has a great starting position. Everybody's starting to come into the pits now. So this is going to really be interesting here in the open class. You can see Mitchell Peak up there, who's already finished his laps. Ronnie Coates right behind him. Mitchell Peak was the fastest in practice. Just barely right at the end was able to pip Ronnie Coates for that first position in practice. So Mitchell Peak with a 147.615, Ronnie Coates with a 147.649. So they are not that far off of each other, but it's going to be tight, especially with a track like this. With this Spec-5 track, everybody's super, used to all of these slipstream tracks. This really isn't a slipstream track. This is more of a driver's track. So it's going to be, interesting to have these drivers on a track where you don't just have to stay close. You've actually got to know how to drive the car. The drivers that have this Miata figured out a little better than others will come through tonight. Anybody can draft. Not everybody can drive these Miatas around tracks like this. Alex, it looks like you're at least back in the Discord. Don't know if you have the session pulled up yet, but what are you feeling about tonight? Okay, we still don't have Alex, but we will have him soon. So again, right here, Camden Hibbett, we are riding on board here right now. Or not riding on board, but watching him. Camden Camden was the winner from last week. Going to be interesting to see what he can do starting from 5th place on the grid. Otis Adams Jr. still out there. Don't know if he's going to be able to get anything else. Nope, Otis Adams Jr. is, yes, there he is, coming out of the pits, or going into the pits. I apologize. Very, very crazy pit entry he had there. But yeah, made it in, doing a little bit of pit entry practice. Probably not a bad idea for this track. And you can see, look, you can't even see the cars there. That pit entry sits so much lower than the actual track on turn 12. So yeah, we're going to have to figure out that camera before we go into the race. But no, it's going to be a super interesting track tonight. Alex, you got me. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
There he is. We got you, Alex. You may not be loaded in yet, but give me a little bit of insight on what you think these drivers are going to have to contend with tonight here at Phillip Island.
Well, last time we went to this track in this series, it was an absolutely electric race. A lot of strategy involved, a lot of timing involved, and if I remember correctly, the Pro Class finishers, the top 3 came down to the line 3 wide. So this track always provides good racing. It does it in the sim and in real life, and I'm absolutely looking forward to what this race has to offer.
All right, man. So I'm gonna put this on you. You know, we've got to ask this question every time. Give me your picks for the Pro and the Open class.
I feel like, Adam, you're making me feel like I'm gonna commentators curse somebody, and I haven't even been here for a minute. But if I had to pick a Pro Class driver, I think I might go with Otis Adams Jr., honestly. We're looking at him right now. Very fast driver, has yet to win a race in this series, I do believe. I think he'll be able to get it done tonight. And for the Open class, I think I might go for, I think I'm going to pick Jerry DiPiero. If he can link up with Ashley Lyle and start to work their way towards Sean Hayes, I think he could be a real contender tonight in that car.
Well, so Alex, I'm going to have to agree to disagree with you on here. Mitchell Peak has been looking for a win for a very, very long time at this point. We know he's got the speed. He's been very unlucky here as of late in the Spec-5 World Tour. So I'm looking for Mitchell Peak to actually take this win. His qualifying time shows it. As you said, though, this track did give us some very, very interesting, I think, the most exciting race that I think you and I commentated on it together that time. Man, that was all the way back in season 10, I believe. So, yeah, no, season 9 even. But no, Mitchell Peak, I think, will take the Pro Class win. Alex, I think it's going to be really hard for anybody in the Open class to get up to where Sean Hayes is starting there in 8th position. It's going to take a massive mistake by Sean to even allow Ashley or Jerry to get up to him.
Well, we've seen massive mistakes from Sean Hayes before. We saw it last season at Road America, the championship race. Sean had it almost locked up for the Open class and then ended up wrecking in turn number 3 after that long straight, and that ended up giving the championship to Ray Lombardi. So we've seen big mistakes out of Sean Hayes before, and yes, he does look very fast here tonight, but never count any other driver out. That's one of the big things in racing. You never want to count anybody out. It is not over until it's over. So I think that even though Sean Hayes starting way up the grid, I think the other drivers could make a comeback towards him.
I think you're correct. And with qualifying ending now, I will go ahead and take you guys through the grid. Starting in first place is Mitchell Peak with Ronnie Coates in second beside him. Otis Adams in that second row. Zach Burke right beside him. Camden Hibbett starting from 5th. Michael Coates starting from 6th. Eugenio Polici in 7th. Sean Hayes, first Open class driver, up there in 8th. Like I mentioned, he's got a pretty big gap between that second Open class driver of Ashley Lyle. But anyways, number 9, 9th place, Rui Coimbra with Brian Zabelski starting from 10th. Nikki Barovic in 11th. Alexander Cyril. I hope I got that right, Alexander. I'm sorry if I did not. Starting there in 12th position. Moving down, we've got David Staub in 13th with the second Open class driver, Ashley Lyle, second in class, 14th overall. Lee Martin in 15th, Ray Lombardi 16th. Big shout out to Ray, by the way, for making that intro video that you guys saw before the race started. Thank you, Ray, so much for doing that and for your help with the Spec-5 World Tour and you know, I'm going to call you like a part-time SMB employee, even though you're not getting paid for it. So thank you so much for doing that, Ray. Greg Mack there in 17th with Jerry DiPiero there in 18th. Daniel Williams, new driver there in 19th with Kenneth Staub in 20th. Jose Gonzalez, 21st. Josh Olson, 22nd. Greg Brockway, 23rd. Bruce Silva, 24th. And we've got just a few more for you guys. They have a huge field tonight. Tom Athon, 25th. Andrew Kosick in 26th. Paulo Coimbra there all the way back in 27th. Not used to seeing him or Charles Vaccaro that far down the grid tonight, Alex.
Yeah, usually they are quite a bit further up, but I mean, like you said, it is a driver's track. Could be just not a track that either of those drivers prefer. And actually, you mentioning driver's track got me thinking. And last time we went to this track, I do believe Sean Hayes was one of the fastest drivers.
Oh, sounds like we may have lost Alex. Hopefully we can get him back here. Alex, just speak up whenever you come back. But yeah, he mentioned Sean Hayes being one of the fastest drivers in the open class here at Phillip Island. So going to be interesting to see what he can do there starting from 8th position. Now, you do have to think these drivers have had to go through a myriad of updates since the last time we were here, and I drove this Miata a couple days ago with some of my buddies, and let me tell you, it is not what I remember. It is very loose under brakes. That sequential gear shift always had, I mean, people really are not happy with that, but really just how loose the car is it's crazy compared to how it used to be, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, watching Ronnie Coates and Mitchell Peak. So this is going to be interesting, actually, on this start, because the only spot that these drivers are going to have, you know, really a great passing opportunity is into one. That's the longest spot that. Their longest straightaway, and it's a pretty hard braking zone into turn one. So expect some passes there, especially on this green flag lap. Really going to be up to Mitchell Peak to see how he starts his car, what he can do to keep himself in the lead. But watch out for Zach Burke and Otis Adams and even Michael Coates back there in the second, third, and Camden Hibbett in the second and third and fourth rows. It's going to be, you know, one of those races to watch. And again, Sean Hayes back there, about row number 5, not too far back. And it sounds like we got Alex back.
Wow, I'm having a day over here. What I was talking about with Sean Hayes was, you mentioned it was a driver's track, and I was saying that it was one of his best tracks. I was looking back at the stream while I was loading into the session, and he was one of the most dominant drivers in that race. He was a force to be reckoned with at this track. So I think this is one of his best tracks, and I might have to swap my pick over to him because he very well could easily win this open class race.
Whoa. Just because I made him my pick, you can't go stealing him now, Alex. That was your fault for picking somebody else. He's mine. He is my pick, and if he wins, I'm interviewing him, and I'm going to tell him it's all because of me. And if he crashes, yeah, we're just going to wipe everything from memory. You guys didn't hear anything or any of that.
IP Rex now, just get back here.
Well, okay, now he's going to hear that. This is on you at this point.
Well, we're about to go green, so as they head down the front straightaway towards the start-finish line, the green flag is out. We are racing from Phillip Island. Mitchell Peak with a pretty decent start. Ronnie Coates matching him on the outside. Looks like Eugenio Polici already throwing a 3-wide down there on the bottom, trying to get around Otis Adams Jr. It looks like Otis thinking about a 3-wide move for the lead, but Mitchell Peak is going to end up clearing Ronnie Coates. Otis Adams goes for the move around him as well. The field fans out. They're 1 and 2, but everybody keeping it clean so far. Otis Adams going to get into second place. Eugenio Polici already up to 4th back there in that number 7 car. Still side by side with Zach Burke for that spot. Now Michael Coates trying to get around him as Ashley Lyle has already made her way up to 11th. She's already getting very close to Sean Hayes into what I'm going to consider the best passing spot, the Honda hairpin. Full throttle, hard onto the brakes into a tight hairpin. You could easily make a lot of dive bomb moves through here, and a lot can go wrong as somebody just went around back there.
Yeah, we actually, there's been a few people that have already gone around. Looks like we've had a few crashes, but try to figure out who just went around. Looks like it may have been Ray Lombardi, Lee Martin, maybe Jerry DiPiero. There are so many people that have gone off track, but we'll have to get back to you later on that. Right now, we got Mitchell Peak still there in the lead, really pulled a gap just a little bit off Otis Adams Jr., able to kind of relax this lap, get himself in the rhythm as we see more people spinning back there.
Yeah, it's Rui Coimbra, one of the fastest drivers in the series. And
oh,
he
no.
will go around that's a pretty unsafe rejoin. Sean Hayes is around, and that's going to allow Ashley Lyle into the open class lead. Adam, we have done it here.
You said it. You said it, not me, Alex. You said it.
Hey. As soon as we pick a driver, all right, that's a commentator's curse. As soon as we pick a driver, you did it. Not my fault.
Okay, well, whatever you say. And speaking of, what happened to Jerry DiPiero back there in 9th place? Now in the open class. I'm sorry, 19th. My bad. Oh, no, he's in the pits now. Wonder what happened to him. We'll have to go see if we can get a replay on that real quick. Looks like there was an absolutely massive crash here at the beginning, but we've got, hopefully this might be it. We got an off track here from Jerry. Where is this? This is going into turn 3, it appears to be. Getting on the brakes for the Honda hairpin, and oh my goodness, it was carnage back there.
Yeah, it looked like somebody might have missed the braking zone and ended up slamming into the back of Jerry and taking out a couple of other cars with them. I'm not sure who did that. It might have been Paulo Coimbra. It looks like it was the 8 car. That might have been Paulo Coimbra sending it in there a little bit too hard, just forcing the field into each other and causing about 3 or 4 cars to go around.
That was
actually Otis Adams Jr. is taking the lead.
He actually has, and we can go back and watch that one as well. I'm sorry, I was just dumbfounded. You normally don't see carnage like that in this league. Everyone races so well, but I did say that hairpin is one of the most difficult. There are 2 hairpins actually here. You call it, I don't know which one's the Honda hairpin. I don't know if it's called the Miller corner. I don't even know what it is, but you got turn 4 and turn 10, Alex. Turn 10, where we're just watching them go through right now, is also very difficult because it's downhill, as you saw, and trying to get on the brakes just a little bit early can cause a massive pile-ups. But, back to my original point, it's weird to see drivers here in the Spec-5 doing that on lap 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very easy mistake to make, just out-braking yourself into a hairpin, especially on the first lap of a race. Everybody's trying to be super aggressive, making up as many spots as they can.
Oh my goodness, 3 wide.
3 wide for the lead into turn number 1. And it looks like Ronnie Coates going to take the lead here because of that. And he'll be side-by-side with Mitchell Peak into turn number 1. Looks like Mitchell might get a run off the outside. He'll retain the lead as they head into turn number 2. But going back to my point is that, somebody just money shifted.
Oh,
That's
no!
Zach Burke. You see smoke billowing out of the back of that Miata. He just money shifted that car. Brings it off track, and what I mean by money shift is he downshifted too early, which over-revved the car, blowing the motor, and that's going to take Zach Burke out of this race.
That is massive for Zach Burke. He was really starting to move his way up through the field as well, just got it a little bit wrong. So when you say money shifted, how do you money shift in a car that's got a sequential gearbox now?
Well, the main thing, I mean, you can do it in any kind of car. You can do it in a manual car, a sequential car, but the way you money shift in a sequential car is when you go to brake into a corner, you downshift. Say a car's max rev limit is at 8,000 RPMs, and I downshift when I'm at 6,000 RPMs. My RPMs when I downshift are too high for the max RPM limit. So say I downshift at 6,000 when the max is 8,000, and the car over revs to 10,000 RPMs. That's blowing the engine. That's what a money shift is. And if you downshift too fast, that's what causes you to do it in a sequential car. The way you do it in a manual car is, say you misshift, you downshift when you meant to upshift, you blow the motor. It's a very easy mistake to make. I certainly have made it before, and just that's just really unfortunate for Zach.
It really is, but you know what? I think he's going to be okay. He'll probably be able to get back to where he wants to be. Well, no, he won't, because he's going to have to tow to the pits. That may be night done for Zach. Yep, he's already out of the race. So just kidding. He said, I'm just going to take it back, and I'm going to hopefully come watch the race, Zach, and maybe tell me in the comments exactly what happened to you there, buddy. But anyways, watching here right now, we got David Staub, Alexander Searle, and Ashley Lyle all pretty close together right now. Ashley is in a great spot, like I said, with Sean Hayes Look at this, Greg Brockway up here in the podium position for the open class. Greg, I saw him in practice. He's not slow around here, Alex.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the top open class drivers at this track, and he's doing a really good job right now in the 62 car. Only about a second and a half behind Sean Hayes. Now, I would reckon if Greg can link up with Sean, and Sean puts some of that magic on that car that we know he has inside of him, I reckon they could start to make an advance to the field towards Ashley Lyle. But I mean, it's going to be a pretty long uphill battle for them, as their gap to Ashley, I would go with, is maybe about probably 3 or 4 seconds, and that is a very large gap in these cars. It
is, and speaking of why Sean, you see him back there about that far off. Looks like he's fighting with, is that Rui Coimbra?
Yeah.
It looks like he's fighting with Rui Coimbra right now, and they're just battling. He gets punted off the track. Does he get any damage? He keeps it off the wall. Now watch this rejoin. This is what, when we came in, it looks like he was okay. Yep, keeping it off the track, letting everybody come. I think that may be a little bit of a steward's look at the end of this race.
It looked like just close racing to me, just two drivers trying to get as much track as they can, and they just both went for the same spot at the wrong time, ended up hitting each other. Rui Coimbra definitely got the worst out of that, fell back to 18th. He's now battling with Ray Lombardi for 17th around the outside into turn number 1. He will get that spot, advance himself into 17th, and just like it's going to be for Sean Hayes and Greg Brockway to catch up to Ashley Lyle, it's going to be a very long uphill battle for Rui Coimbra if he wants to get himself a better finishing position. But here we go. We're looking at the battle for the lead right now as Eugenio Polici defends the inside from Otis Adams Jr. into the turn 4 hairpin. I do believe it's the Honda hairpin. And as Nicky Borovic and Michael Coates side by side right behind him in turn number 5, it looks like Michael is going to get that spot. And currently here you see Ashley Lyle, the open class leader. She is currently up in the main pack. The main pack is pretty much from 1st to 11th right now. And she's just doing a very consistent job inside this main pack, just being a very solid driver in here, just not being too slow for anybody to pass her, but not being too fast to where she has to really just let that car just sit there and not really do anything with that spot. She's doing a very great job right here and has a really good shot tonight.
Well, yeah, you can see here she's gained 6 positions from the start of the race, and a little that was helped by that little get-together by Rui and Sean Hayes, but nonetheless, gained 6 positions. Biggest mover right now, though, Tom Athon, and not far behind him, though, is Greg Brockway, but not far in front of him on the track is Greg Brockway either. So, yeah, we got Tom Athon up here about to make a move on Greg, actually, and gain another spot that'll give him 10.
I don't know if he'll be close enough, though. I mean, Greg does have that draft off Jose Gonzalez, so looks like they won't be enough. And what is Eugenio? Something happened to Eugenio Polici. The left side of that car is destroyed, and he was just uncontrollably driving over the pit exit there. Here he's racing with Otis Adams Jr. And I wanted to. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, that's a big hit, and brings it back on the track. Yeah, you can see how damaged that right front tire is, or no, excuse me, that's the left front that's broken. He's using the right front to steer. Oh, it looked like maybe a little bit of net code contact there. It looked like maybe Eugenio was trying to get to the right side of Mitchell Peak into turn number 1, and Otis Adams Jr. was there. Here's another view at it in slow motion this time. Looks like Otis maybe was heading up the track just a tad, but Eugenio definitely came to the right a little bit, probably to try and make a move on Mitchell Peak, and ended up hitting Otis Adams Jr. Looks like Otis is able to get away with not much harm done, but Eugenio is gonna have his night over.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Eugenio. Unfortunate for Otis Adams too, because you got to know that he's probably got a little bit of damage as well from that. Michael Coates, lucky to get out of that one alive. But we got Mitchell Peak here still running here. Second place. I'm telling you, you better watch out. Looks like he's actually going to go for a move down the front straight. We're only 10 minutes into this race, Alex. I don't think we've had a lead more than one lap.
Maybe not, as it's been a very close race up front, as Mitchell Peak now going to try and make this move around the outside. He'll have help from Michael Coates into turn number 1. He still will go side by side through the first corner once more. Now into turn number 2, Mitchell Peak going to have the better line through here. And it looks like, no, there's still even a belt through the corner. Now it looks like Mitchell Peak able to take that spot. And maybe Ronnie Coates sent it in there a little bit too hard, because now he's got Michael Coates trying to get around him now as they head into turn number 3. Michael Coates still side by side with Ronnie Coates here as they head towards turn number 4. If Ronnie's brave, he might be able to make a move of the lead here if he really dive bombs this corner.
Oh,
Mitchell Peak has to get room there. Oh, I saw smoke there. That might be from lockup there, but somebody was definitely smoking in that field. I'm not sure who that was.
That was Mitchell Peak or Ronnie Coates, one of them. I think you talked about a dive bomb. He sent it in there, almost got into Mitchell Peak. I think he was able to hold on to it enough to not, but that could have just absolutely, we were talking about Mitchell Peak being unlucky before this race. Whoa, that was close, Alex.
Yeah, I think maybe just we saw smoke from a money shift earlier from Zach Bergen. I think that time we were seeing smoke because maybe a little bit of lockup from Ronnie Coates trying to make that dive bomb. You saw him go to the bottom early to try and make the move, and it looks like just didn't stick for him as they head to the final 2 corners to start lap 8 of this race. And here you see Ashley Lyle once more in P8. And now this is really all the main pack is. Ashley is the last car really in this main pack. The next car is David Staub, about a second behind her. And so the main pack has pretty much shrunk down to about 8 cars now. And don't look now, but Sean Hayes is part of a 3-car group back just a little bit from Ashley that doesn't have a very long gap to David Staub, who doesn't have a very long gap to the leaders.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, again, I'm saying this a lot, it's going to be interesting because this track is just interesting. I said that Slipstream wasn't going to be important, and this is more of a driver's track, but we're sitting here looking at it now like, man, Slipstream really does help. But with that being said, it doesn't help as much as we've seen on other tracks in the past. But this track, oh my goodness, who was that? That was Nicky Borovic that just got super loose back there. Now he's all the way up on the inside of Otis Adams.
Yeah, it looks like just maybe a little bit of a dive bomb move. I was listening to the in-game voice chat. It looks like Camden Hibbett apologized to him for something. So maybe Camden could have tapped him going into the hairpin. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, but very good driving to keep that car under control and not take anybody out as they had to do the hairpin. It seems like that hairpin has just been the dangerous corner all race, and rightfully so, as it's probably the fastest corner you have to break into at this track that you have to really slow down for. Yeah, you go down the front straight, you're going really fast into turn number 1, but you don't really have to slow down for turn number 1 all that much like you do for turn number 4.
Just saw Ronnie Coates take it wide into turn 11. This is going to give Mitchell Peak another slipstreaming opportunity going down the front straight, but don't look now because we're going to go on board actually with Michael Coates and just watch the closing speed because he's got, well, just kidding, because Mitchell Peak has already gone to the outside. What does Michael do here, Alex? No way he takes it 3 wide.
Well, he absolutely could if he wanted to, but it looks like he's just not trying to race that aggressively right now. Keeps it 2 wide between the leaders as Mitchell Peak going to get this move done around the outside once more. Pretty much exactly what he did a couple of laps ago to take the lead. And he'll be doing that again now as Mitchell Peak going to continue to watch this battle. As actually Camden Hibbett and Nicky Borovic were side by side right there. Ashley Lyle off track a little bit.
Ooh, that was close by Ashley.
Yeah, that could have. I mean, that was great driving from her to save that car. Could have taken her out of the race if she made the wrong move. But into the hairpin, I reckon she'll still have the slipstream. But look at the group of 3 cars behind this pack. That looks like Brian Zabelski, Sean Hayes, and Daniel Williams. And this group is, I'm gonna say it, this group is catching the field. They are catching up, and this can put Sean Hayes back into a winning chance.
Yeah, it absolutely could. It's going to be interesting to see first of all, if they can get there, and then what they do when they get there. As Nicky Borovic all of a sudden is slid down back just to in front of Ashley Lyle. Don't really know what happened there, but he was up there battling with Camden Hibbett. Camden is now all of a sudden about half a second ahead of him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So it looked like, ooh, wow, that was a pretty close guy heading into turn number 10. I want to say that is could be 11. But that was a pretty good move from Camden Hibbett to get around Nicky Borovic, puts him in the top 5 as the main pack is expected to grow a little bit. But it looks like, wow, we didn't even gloss over it, but the pit window is open as both Ronnie Coates and Otis Adams Jr., both not team drivers, if I'm not mistaken, are into the pits now.
Yes, sir. Going to be one of those things. Pit strategy may be more important here, than it is on other tracks. And the big thing is, actually, let's go back here to see if these drivers are going to take any tires. Looks like Coates is going to take right sides. Apparently 2 tires, from what I've heard, are free. So, yeah, I would probably expect most of these drivers to take 2, but maybe somebody gambles and doesn't take any. Just get out, that half a second quicker if you could.
Yeah, the only thing is, if you take those tires, it can just really help the handling a lot through these corners. It's like there's a lot more corners where, he took right sides because there are a lot more left-hand corners on this track, and they're all pretty much high speed. Turn 2, turn 3, 5, turn 9 as well, and the final 2 corners, of course. So those right side tires are struggling throughout the lap here, and very smart move to take right sides only. And if somebody really wants to gamble, there aren't really many right-hand corners on this track, but does somebody gamble and maybe take all 4 for just that little bit of extra speed?
I haven't driven this track well enough to know, Alex, which is definitely my fault, to know how much a Miata's tires get shredded on this track. But watching these guys slide it into almost every corner around here, I would assume that they probably shred them pretty quickly. So, 4 tires may be a gamble. And then it comes to getting past all of these drivers, as I mentioned, and is kind of coming to fruition. Unless, we're talking about, these top drivers who just keep swapping places, but making a move through the field might just be a little tough to take 4. That's my stance on it. We don't have Randall McGrew in here tonight for Randall's wrong pit calls, but, if he was in here, whatever he said, everybody would do the opposite and be just fine.
Yeah, I think what he might say as of right now is say that everybody would go for the overcut, as everybody is pitting early before the halfway point of this race. And actually, Alexander Searle and Ashley Lyle got really close through turn number 2 there. And all the while, this is allowing Sean Hayes to close this gap. He took that spot away from Brian Zabelski, which did hurt them a little bit. But Sean currently only a 2-second gap back to David Staub in front. So, not really a quick closing rate from Sean Hayes to David Staub, but still a pretty alarming rate for Ashley Lyle, and she might have to start worrying about if Sean Hayes could make his way back up here.
Yeah, you wonder if Ashley is checking her mirrors now at this point, maybe just trying to work with Alexander instead of trying to make the moves. But you do need to keep in mind that these drivers are all racing for the same points. Yes, there are 2 classes, but their finishing position, their overall finishing position, is the points that they gain. So it's going to be, what do you want to do? Do you want to race for that extra position, or are you watching Sean Hayes back there? Because like you said, 1.7 seconds now, he's coming.
Yeah, and Sean Hayes, he's just so fast around this track, but more cars into the pits this lap. Camden Hibbett, Alexander Searle, and Sean Hayes. Or excuse me, not Sean Hayes, Camden Hibbett, David Staub, I can't read. Camden Hibbett, Alexander Searle, Ashley Lyle, and Brian Sabelski all into the pits. There we go. We got it that time. They're all into the pits. That's going to give Sean Hayes the open class lead for now, but he still has to head into the pits, and it looks like the only other lead pack cars that stayed out were Daniel Williams, David Staub, and Michael Coates, but Ray Lombardi, Greg Brockway, Rui Coimbra, these 3 drivers have yet to come into the pits, as well as everybody that just got around Camden, Zabelski, Searle, and Lyle there. As it looks like Ashley is going to be the first car off of pit road now, and Camden, Hibbett, Searle, all of them, they're going to all follow suit. Ashley will lead them off pit road now as they just rejoin the track.
Here
and it
comes
looks
Ronnie
like
Coates. This is going to be
Coates.
Ooh, looks like Ronnie does get out in front of her, but Ashley Mitchell Peak as well. Oh my goodness, this is going to get real close. Watch out, because there's Nikki Borovic trying to come through at the same time. This is sketchy right now, but Ashley has technically gained positions because Camden Hibbett was back there in 4th place. So I think after this round of pit stops, I believe Ashley's gained a position. Now it's just going to be to see where Sean Hayes comes out, because you saw that overcut actually worked compared to the undercut here.
Well, I don't know if you saw it, but Mitchell Peak just got very sideways through turn number 2. I don't think you mentioned it there. And that costed them a lot of time to Ronnie Coates. Yes, they will. This group of drivers still will have the slipstream advantage on Ronnie Coates, but still, that was a very good save for Mitchell Peak. He almost really went around as Michael Coates now into the pits. David Staub, it looks like, not into the pits just yet. And it looks like Sean Hayes going to stay out another lap as well.
So this is going to be interesting. We're going to stay on Michael Coates here, Alex, and go to Ashley. You'll be able to see her lit up green on your track map there, just now coming through turn 10. See where Michael comes out compared to Ashley, and see if the overcut was actually the right move, because if Michael comes out in front of Ashley, clearly it was the right move. But Ashley has a chance to gain another position. She's already coming around turn 12. Michael Coates is just now coming out of the pits. This is going to be close.
I don't know. I think the lead group of cars might have Michael Coates here, but I'm not sure. I mean, the overcut could have actually really worked here. Michael Coates might have just gotten an unsafe pit exit there, as he didn't take the access road.
I think Michael did get an unsafe pit exit. That's really going to hurt him too, because he would be battling for the overall lead at this point. Oh man, he just threw it all the way there, Alex.
Yeah, I want to see if we can go on board with him heading to the pit exit, because we'll see if he got an unsafe pit exit based on whether or not he crossed that blue cone on pit exit. So here he's heading out of the pits. I want to go on board with him if we can. Here we are. You see him. There's the pit cone. There's the blue cone that you have to cross. Let's see. No, you can't do that.
Yep.
So everybody else has been taking that other line for basically no reason, just for a better rejoin in terms of whether or not there are other drivers. Michael Coates, very smart move. No unsafe pit exit. Very smart driving to notice that and take advantage of it. That's going to put him provisionally into 2nd place.
Man, he almost had that too. I think that overcut, like we were talking about, was actually working, but look where Ashley Lyle is all of a sudden. Now she's up here with the top 4, racing for the overall lead. Got to see where Sean Hayes is. Does he have help right now? He's all alone, and he's going again.
Well, I don't know. We know how fast Sean Hayes is around here, so I think this could be just he realizes how much the overcut is working, or could have done pretty much a full race simulation in solo practice, and he probably realized how much that overcut works, so he's probably trying to go as long as possible to just try and get such a good run off pit road that maybe he even takes the overall lead here. So, I mean, just trying to better himself as much as he can. It's been an uphill battle all race for Sean Hayes, and he's looking to really take a commanding lead here if he can get everything right. Kenneth Staub and Bruce Silva racing right now. This is for P6 overall. I do believe neither of these drivers have come into the pit, so they're going to go side by side through turn number 3. It looks like Kenneth going to easily make that move before they even get to the hairpin.
I don't want to correct you, Alex, but I'm going to correct you. Kenneth Staub has pitted once. I think he may have been involved in one of those early lap incidents, but he's definitely going to have to come in again. He may have taken tires, because he just drove right around Bruce Silva like he was standing still.
Yeah, just maybe as they head through turn at number 5. Here's Sean Hayes again. Let's see if we can stick with him through turns 10, 11, and 12 to see whether or not he pits this lap. So he heads through that hairpin. Now he'll head to the last 2 full throttle corners. And that pit lane, that's before turn 12. So we'll see if he dives in there. I reckon it looks like he's going to stay out one more time. David Staub is going to do the same thing. So, I mean, just maybe Sean Hayes sees something in this fuel run that we don't, but he is staying out for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we have crossed into past halfway. I don't know when these drivers came in. I wasn't really paying attention. I know it was around lap 9 and 10. I don't even know if they made it halfway before they tried their pit stop. So you wonder when the overcut all of a sudden it doesn't become an overcut anymore. If you start losing, tire grip, start getting these right side tires, looks like are definitely the ones taking the most abuse. Don't know when this is going to come back and start to hurt Sean if he stays out too long.
I don't know. He's been out here doing these laps all by himself. He's catching up to David Staub here, but he's been all by his lonesome ever since everybody else came into the pit lane. So, not sure what the strategy call is for Sean Hayes. I think at this point he's just committed to running as long as possible. But here we see Daniel Williams, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say this is his first career start, and currently third, a couple of seconds back from the current leaders right now, has yet to come into the pits for his stop, and currently doing a great job here, new to the pro class.
Yeah, doing okay. Again, 0 stops. You can see there on the timing tower. Those top 4, David Staub, Sean Hayes, Daniel Williams, and Bruce Silva have not pitted. Kenneth Staub has, but he's definitely going to have to go in again. Josh Olson and Andrew Kosick also have not. Charles Vaccaro, again, one of those drivers that have... one of those drivers that were probably caught up. Ronnie Coates, technically, I would say it will be your leader after all of these pit stops. David Staub and Sean Hayes both into the pits. This is about to get interesting, my friend.
Yes. Now we just have to wait to see where the leaders come around the pits. I assume everybody else going to head into the pits this lap and realizing they can't make it from here. So we got a great view of the pit lane here. You see both David Staub and Sean Hayes in their pit stalls, and it looks like rounding turn number 11 is Ronnie Coates, so we'll have to see where they come out of the pits. I don't know. I think Sean Hayes and David Staub might have had the right idea here. The leaders rounding the final corner just now, and it looks like onto the jacks for the left side.
Oh,
Sean
no,
Hayes.
Sean took 4 tires.
Yeah, Sean took 4 tires. I think that could have been a mistake, or maybe just trying to get more speed, but it looks like this is going to be the overall battle for the lead once more, as it looks like, just didn't work out for Sean Hayes there. And now Kenneth Staub, Bruce Silva, and Charles Vaccaro staying out once more. I'm honestly not sure if they can make it to the end or not. I thought they would have had to pit by now, but Ronnie Coates and Ronnie Coates and Mitchell Peak currently fighting for the lead now as Michael Coates and Ashley Lyle watch on.
Yep, Ashley right now is in a great spot in this open class, doing just fine. Look at the amount of time Sean Hayes lost. He did take 4 tires, though, so it's going to get very interesting. Again, I know I've said that so many times at this point, but, man, Sean Hayes on 4 tires, the leaders on right sides just now came in. Tires are going to be super fresh, but he got loose. Oh, he's around.
That's got to be on cold tires there, and that's why it's a risk. It's a risk to take 4 tires. Apologies, but that's why taking 4 tires. That's why a lot of drivers elect to only take 2 right there. It gets the car so unsettled and so loose, like it does on the opening laps of a race. Ended up sending him right around now, but Mitchell Peak trying to go around the outside there. And now he's going to try and get to the inside of Ronnie Coates through turn at number 10. I think, actually, this might be Ronnie Coates trying to make a move at the lead. You see both of them super squirrely heading out of pin now. They'll be side by side through the final couple of corners as Michael Coates still just watches on from third. And it looks like Kenneth Staub and Bruce Silva into the pits, but Charles Vaccaro going to elect to still stay out across the line in this 164 car. But now it's pretty much this looks like a race at Talladega or Daytona right now. 2 cars pushing each other down the front stretch. Ashley makes it 3 wide around the outside, and it looks like she'll have to maintain a 4th there. Michael Coates tried to make it 3 wide on the bottom. He'll end up taking away P2 from Ronnie Coates, and now he'll have a shot at taking the lead away.
Holy crap. And we're only 30 minutes. We still have 15 minutes left of this race, and these guys are racing like it's the last lap. This is going to be insane, Alex.
Now you wonder why I love this track. I mean, I know it's a very absurd comparison, but if anybody that ever watches this watched the MotoGP race at this track in 2022, it was exactly like this. Everybody just right on top of each other every single lap and making moves for the lead every single lap, and it's just so entertaining to watch cars race here, and that's just really why this track is one of the best on the sim, one of the most underrated by far.
All right, at this point, I'm rooting for Mitchell Peak. Mitchell has got to get a move on it, but I don't know if he can. Michael Coates is still within striking range. They're about halfway through where we're going to see the next overtaking, technically, opportunity. Ronnie Coates is starting to fall off the back of them just enough. It's going to be tight. And we've got Ashley Molyneux back here. I apologize. Ashley Lyle back here in 5th place. Now back into 6th. They're making moves going into turn 10.
Yeah, Aldous Adams Jr. makes a clean move into the hairpin to take that spot away, and I heard something in the voice chat. Ashley just admitted she's not pushing her car too hard. I believe that is what I heard, so, I mean, she really probably has a lot more speed in that Miata, but currently being passed by both Otis Adams Jr. and Camden Hibbett now as they head down the front straightaway. Charles Vaccaro into the pits, so this makes this the official battle for the lead as Michael Coates going to head down the inside into turn number 1. He'll try to take the lead away for the first time tonight as they head onto the brakes, and he will easily make that move as they head through turn number 1.
Yep, this is where the battle's going to be. Now, how much do you battle up here on the top 3? I don't think they're holding anything back. These top 3 are just absolutely, I mean, just elbows out. This is absolutely ridiculous right now. Mitchell Peak has got to win this race. He's been so unlucky here for the past 6 races, at least, that we've covered. Mitchell has a chance here. The question is, how aggressive does he want to get as he goes to the inside of Michael Coates? That's going to be a really tight move through, I'm going to call it Honda Corner.
That was a very close move and absolutely incredible driving from Mitchell Peak. Just, I mean, anybody else would have missed the corner, but he gets the car turned in early. That way he can get the front tires to turn into the corner and just really slow it down a whole heck of a lot more. And very great driving from him to make that move as Otis Adams Jr., Camden Hibbett side by side now. Looks like Camden is going to be able to make that move as Ashley Lyle watches them fight for this position. And I mean, really, just it's gonna be like this to the end. We're gonna keep covering battles for the lead until the last lap because this is just how it's gonna finish.
Yep, this is unbelievable. Trying to get back through the field here. There really aren't that many battles right now. Daniel Williams is close enough to Jose Gonzalez up there battling for 15th and 14th. Oh, Sean Hayes though, Alex. Sean Hayes comes out 4 brand new tires, spins it on cold tires. Oh, he had a chance here.
I mean, that's just, I honestly think if he took 2, he might have been able to take the lead, and that's just another case of what could have been for this number 94 team. It's just so unfortunate for them. I mean, it's really just nothing wrong on Sean Hayes' part either. It's just how these cars act on cold tires and how really any car acts on cold tires. It's just not going to handle the way you want it to at all until you get them warmed up, and just unfortunate mistake from the cold tires on that Miata causes them to go around, and that is why very few drivers elect to take 4 tires when they head into the pits for their required pit stop per race. And that's just because of how much more difficult it makes this car to drive, and really, even the reward from getting a couple of faster laps in isn't really that great compared to having to drive on those cold tires. But you saw Michael Coates there hit the gravel, almost went around, but he'll still try and make this move for the lead. It's 2 by 2 for the lead as Michael Coates trying to make the move for the lead. Camden Hibbett trying to make the move for 3rd. Both of it's just 2 by 2 as they head into turn number 8 and towards 9 now. And it looks like Michael Coates not able to get it done that time. Mitchell Peak is still going to hang on to the lead. Here comes Ronnie Coates around the outside. He'll try and get this done into the hairpin. I'm not sure if
this is going to be tight.
Alongside. Oh, that was very close there. Almost hit Michael Coates.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. How close these drivers are getting right now. Still 10 minutes to go in this session, Alex.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Adam, brother, we still got 10 minutes to go. You can't quit on us now. We got 10 more minutes of exactly what we've been seeing, and just this front straight is always going to be incredible. As Michael Coates waiting for the last second for a move, Ronnie Coates going to jump the gun on it into turn number 1 now. As it looks like Ronnie, he will get alongside Mitchell Peak for the lead, side by side through turn number 1 as they head towards turn number 2. I think Mitchell Peak can hang on to it here. He has the preferred line. The question is, can Ronnie Coates make this move around Michael Coates now? But it looks like Michael is going to get the better run through the corner. Ooh, it looks like Ronnie might have that run off the top. They'll be side by side as they head towards the Honda hairpin.
Oh my goodness. Mitchell Peak is watching this battle. He wants him to keep battling. Camden Hibbett wants to get involved now as well for second place. Gonna maybe try to take it 3 wide. Nope, he just hangs back. See what Michael Coates does here. Is Ronnie Coates gonna try to make it a move up the inside? My goodness, they get so close around these hairpins, Alex.
Yeah, this is exactly what I thought this race was going to be like. That's just why I love this track. That's just such close racing between all of these drivers, and really anybody in this main pack could win. It could be anybody in the top 8. We've seen what happens when drivers get too aggressive. Somebody could get too aggressive, end up making a bad move, takes out half these cars. Suddenly, Nicky Borovic can come in and take the win. It really could just be anybody in this main pack, and I mean, Michael Coates could try for a dive bomb here, elects not to, just trying to stay in line. Everybody's in this main pack, single file through that hairpin. It looks like might be a 24-25 lap race, and it's going to be close every step of the way.
I don't know how much longer. I mean, how the nerves, they probably have no nerves left, Alex. These overtakes just keep on going, and it's just unbelievable as we've got Ronnie Coates. What does Mitchell do? Does he drive down the inside? Looks like he's actually going to try to help Ronnie Coates up to him and try to give him a little bit of help, because Michael Coates is going to go for a move.
And to turn number 1, Michael's going to easily take that lead away from Mitchell Peak now. As Camden Hibbett and Otis Adams side by side through turn number 1 there. It looks like they'll get single file before turn number 2. Michael Coates, your new leader. And I mean, at what point does a driver like maybe Otis Adams Jr. or Ashley Lyle or Nicky Borovic, at what point do they back there say, okay, I've got to get up there, or else I'm just going to watch the fight for the win and have no say in it?
Yeah,
I don't know. They have to try and get up there?
I don't know, to be honest. Now let's look at just this hairpin. See, look, oh God, my goodness, oh my goodness, where did he come from? That was Camden Hibbett now all of a sudden in the mix.
Yeah, just dive bomb. We never saw it coming and ended up getting a nice interior view of these cars. It looks like very well-designed race car in there. Pretty safe, it looked like. That rear bumper is, and I mean, that's just how it's been through that hairpin the entire race. Everybody just, I mean, you never know when somebody's gonna make a move. You never know. That's why, I mean, even as a broadcaster, you have to stay on your toes every single lap, because you could miss anything, and you can miss everything in a race like this. It's just so much is going on, and you see, while everybody else is jostling for position in the midfield, Mitchell Peak going for the lead now on the inside of Michael Coates, but Michael could have the better run down the straight and try and make that move using the slipstream, as we are just shy of 5 minutes to go.
Yep, Camden Hibbett looks like he all of a sudden wants to get involved. And by the way, big shout out to Jason Bossy for telling me to get there on that onboard, as we just watched Camden Hibbett come out of nowhere into that hairpin. But anyways, 3 wide battling right now. Mitchell Peak's at the front, trying not to get run over by this insane attack right now by the drivers behind him.
Yeah, Camden Hibbett using his tires up now. It looked like he was saving just a bit back there in the field, but he's using this car a lot now, and he'll take the lead for the first time tonight through turn number 2. Mitchell Peak could have something to say through the hairpin, though. They're still very close together, as now Ronnie Coates and Michael Coates side by side for third. Ronnie Coates gets that spot, but Mitchell Peak can have the outside into the hairpin now. Onto the brakes they go. We'll see if any of the other drivers try and do something, but it looks like going to be pretty tame this time through the hairpin, as Camden Hibbett still going to retain the lead.
Camden got really loose there. He had to get off the gas, and that's going to give Mitchell the spot back, and it may actually give Ronnie Coates second back as well. Yeah,
now as they're side by side for second, I mean, Camden might make something down this straightaway if he can get a nice slipstream from Mitchell Peak here. This is a really, I mean, it doesn't look very straight. It looks like they have to lift just a little bit, but that is a straight part of the track. They do go full throttle through there, so that is another drafting opportunity, and that's why it gives us moves into this hairpin. As Michael Coates making a very close move into that hairpin.
My goodness.
They'll still be side by side out of it now, but now they have to get that gap closed up, because going side by side has costed them to really lose a lot of time here. So one of these drivers has to give and start to close this gap back up to Mitchell Peak and Camden Hibbett.
Yeah, this is not good for them. They're almost a second back already. They've got to get this gap closed up with only 4 minutes left. This is going to be a couple lap race. Yeah, this is going to be tight. Camden Hibbett down to the inside of Mitchell Peak. It's not like we haven't seen that move done about 23 times so far, but here they come. Now, Camden Hibbett in the lead. Where do you want to be? Jason Bossy actually has a great question. Who wants which position in the last lefts of the last lap? P1, P2, even P3? Where do you want to be come to the start-finish here?
I don't know. I mean, we saw the finish to the race last season at this track, and I mean, the start-finish line, I mean, if it was more towards the final corner, it might be a little bit better, but it is about halfway down that straightaway. So, I mean, it might seem over to the final 2 corners, but it is still a very good chance that somebody could easily make a move down that front straight before they get to the line. So it's still going to be a very close race. Honestly, I would probably want to be in second or third, but the thing is, it depends on how close I'd be to the car in front, because if I'm maybe 5/10ths back, I'd want to be the leader. But if I'm like right on the leader's back bumper, maybe 2 or 3 tenths back, I definitely want to be in second or third, try and use that run to slingshot around the leading car out of the final corner.
Yeah, I think you're on to something there, Alex. Camden got a little bit loosey-goosey going in there to turn 10. Through 11, he's going to really open himself up now. He had to really shorten that corner up, and Mitchell Peak right back up on his back bumper. Once again,
he went off track there.
At the perfect time. Do we have an off track, do we?
I thought I saw Mitchell Peak dip his right side tires into the gravel, kick a little bit of smoke up. Wouldn't be something that would have registered as an iRacing off track, but I thought he got 2 of his tires off the racing surface there. This is going to be 2 laps to go now. Mitchell Peak going to dive to the inside. He has help from Michael Coates into turn number 1. Mitchell Peak going to try and retake the lead. He will into turn number 1. We'll see if Camden Hibbett has something to say, but Ronnie Coates goes way out wide. Otis Adams Jr. going to have a shot at him now into turn number 2, as David Staub and Nicky Borovic fighting back there as well. Ashley Lyle just barely hanging on to this group, as Nicky Borovic going to take that spot now. And everybody's still single file, and this is going to be a very close race in the final 2 laps.
Yep, so if you're Camden Hibbett, if I'm Camden Hibbett, I'm doing what Mitchell Peak just did to me. Actually, I'm doing what Mitchell Peak did to me, but I'm waiting for the next lap. I'm sitting there in second place. But you got to be careful, because Michael Coates may have become very opportunistic here on the second to lap, the penultimate lap, and just decide to take them both. This is the strategy here is just insane. I don't know what's going to happen here, Alex. I have no idea where they want to be. No idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, and another thing here that this race could depend on is blocking. I mean, I know it would be a very frowned upon move, but if somebody predicts what the car behind them is going to do, they could very well just block up and down the racetrack and get that move made. And then another thing comes into play. If you do block, how's the driver behind you going to react to that? Because they have 2 options. Either they sit there or they turn you. And if somebody blocks me for the win, I'm turning them. I mean, that's just me as a driver. If somebody blocks me coming down the line, I'm probably going to try and turn them to try and get around them, because I know if I do get alongside them, they might hit me there. So, I mean, as they head around the last corner, they're going to take the white flag here tonight. Here we go. This is where the race really starts.
So you mentioned blocking. A certain move by a certain couple drivers at the Circuit of the Americas a few weeks ago comes into mind, and we all know how well that block attempt came out. So, yeah, just got to be very careful on the blocking side. But Mitchell Peak, you can see, is not giving Camden an inch this time. That's the first time I've seen Mitchell fight that corner all the way around the outside. Camden still got the position, but now Mitchell is fighting with Michael Coates, and Camden is going to start getting away. But look out, here comes Ronnie Coates down the inside of Michael.
Yeah, Mitchell Peak going to have a good shot here into turn 4 if he wants to try something. He could be brave into this hairpin. At this point, I'm not sure what other shot he could have. Camden blocks the inside, and Mitchell Peak is going to try and head around the outside. He'll try and go the long way around. No, he'll get turned by Michael Coates, but no. Great save from Mitchell Peak to hang on to that. This is going to give Ronnie Coates second, and this could give the win to Camden Hibbett unless they sort themselves out and start working back towards the leader.
Yep, this is now huge. Mitchell, how much does Mitchell want to stay behind? Is he going to try to push Ronnie up there to Camden and get a double slipstream, or is he going to try to go for the move? He's going for the move on Ronnie. He wants that win, but I just think it's too late at this point. 0.6 of a second, 0.5 of a second now. I think it's over. I think Camden just made the right move at the right time.
Yeah, they're racing too hard for second right now to catch the leader. I think this is going to go the way of Camden Hibbett. The slipstream down the front straight is going to be strong, but I don't think it's going to be strong enough to close an 0.8 of a second gap through the final two corners. It's been a long fight for the lead, but through the final corner, it'll be a long feeling run down to the straight, but Camden Hibbett is going to be able to hang on. They fought too hard for second. Camden Hibbett is going to win at Phillip Island, side by side for third. Ronnie Coates is going to get that spot. Mitchell Peak is going to get second there. No, something happened to Ashley Lyle. Sean Hayes just won that race. Something happened to Ashley Lyle through the final corner, and Sean Hayes just won the open class race.
She's out of gas. It's sputtering. You can hear it sputtering.
Wow. Oh, yeah, no, she's out of gas. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she just said it in the voice chat that I was listening to because I couldn't turn it down. She just said that she ran out, tried to clutch it the whole time, but it just didn't work. Wow, that is not something I saw come. That is not something I saw coming. Camden Hibbett, your overall winner. Sean Hayes steals the open class win on the last lap. That's crazy.
Of course, we were so enthralled on what was going on. And speaking of what's going on, there is still some battling going on back here, but not too much. Jerry DiPiero just going to be waiting on Josh Olson, which there he is. Jerry DiPiero crossing the line, and that's going to round out the field. But, ooh, she just underfueled it by that much, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, that's just such an easy mistake to make. I mean, she had the race won and just really unfortunate for her, but Camden Hibbett, perfect move from him, ends up taking the win after the leaders were battling too hard for second there. Does a great job driving that number 32 car. That was just an absolutely unreal race.
That was, and I would say it was better than the one we had last time up until the last lap. Camden just timed it perfectly. Really didn't have to defend at all on the final lap. Just basically handed Mitchell Peak to Ronnie Coates on a platter and said, okay, you take him. So Camden Hibbett did the exact right thing at the exact right time, was able to get that win. Sean Hayes comes home the open class winner in 9th position, but we'll go ahead and pull up the results, Alex, if you want to read through them.
Yeah, I would love to. As Camden Hibbett takes a great win. It was a great comeback story for him. Mitchell Peak gonna have to settle for second once more. His day is coming. I know it is. Ronnie Coates finishes third. Michael Coates in fourth. Otis Adams Jr. rounds out your top five in fifth. David Staub there in sixth. Nicky Borovic in seventh. Alexander Searle in eighth. Sean Hayes steals the win after Ashley Lyle runs out of gas to the final corner. Sean ends up 9th, Ashley 10th, Ryan Zabelski 11th, Ray Lombardi in 12th, Daniel Williams in 13th, Bruce Silva 14th, I believe his first podium if I am not mistaken. I could be wrong. Lee Martin in 15th, Kenneth Staub in 16th, Andrew Kosick in 17th, Charles Vaccaro in 18th, and back behind them, Greg Brockway in 19th, Greg Mack in 20th, Jose Gonzalez in 21st, Tom Athan in 22nd, Jerry DiPiero in 23rd, Josh Olson in 24th. Rui Coimbra ends up with a little bit of damage there at the end, finishes 25th. Paulo Coimbra there in 26th. Eugenio Polici out early due to contact down the front straight, ends up 27th, and Zach Burke out early as well. He'll finish 28th. And what do you say we head to some interviews, Adam, if we can? Who have you got standing by with us?
We've got Camden Hibbett standing by. Alex, I'll go ahead and let you take this one, and hopefully we can get Sean Hayes in here for the next one.
And Camden, I mean, that was just a perfect move for you. You made the absolute right move at the absolute right time there, and the leaders ended up battling too hard for second to even have a shot at catching you. How was that?
Yeah, it was a crazy race. I want to thank everyone in that top pack, Mitchell, Ronnie, Michael Coates, Otis Adams. I mean, that was great racing between the top of us, top 5 or 6. congrats to Ashley for staying up there for that long. That was some great racing. Congrats to Sean. Yeah, what an amazing race.
It definitely looked like it from up here. How nerve-wracking was that race behind the wheel? I mean, that's just all of you. I mean, there was moves being made what seemed like every corner. How was it being behind the wheel of one of those cars?
Well, it was crazy because, I mean, last week getting my first win at Imola was crazy. My heart rate was crazy. And now coming back into here and going back to back, it's just coming in here with like race 6 of last season. I didn't expect to win 2 in the first 3. So off to a great start of the season. Can't wait for more.
Camden, Adam Thompson here. When you started that race, I don't even know where you started. It doesn't even matter, but I know you were not on those first couple rows. When you started that race and you were going through the pit stops, what was your thought process in the pits? Because we saw the overcut was working a lot stronger, a lot better than we thought it was going to.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was not expecting to be running up front like that. I mean, in practice, I just could not figure out this track. It wasn't flowing for me right. And yeah, heading into the pits, I really wanted to go with Ronnie. And once he pitted, I really wanted to go with Mitchell Peak, and they both pitted. So I just had to go by myself and with a couple others, and I somehow made it happen. I had to drive back from about 2 seconds back, but the racing just, when you're in the pack like that, it just slowed you down so much. But yeah, what a great race.
Alex, I know I'm taking your interview away from you, man, but walk us through those last couple laps. Was it a strategic move on Mitch? Because when you made that move on Mitch for the lead, it basically just handed Mitch to Ronnie and let you run away with that lead, because now Mitch is battling with Ronnie. Was that a planned thing to try to get Ronnie to battle with Mitch, or was that just something you had to do at the time and hope it worked out?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I mean, with 4 to go, I figured the move was going to be made on the white flag. Whoever was going to be in the lead heading into turn 1 on the white flag lap was going to win the race, because it was so hard to make a pass anywhere other than the front stretch. So I tried to time it right to be able to get my move done on Mitchell and be in the lead down into turn 1, and then him and Ronnie racing through the turn 4, turn 5. It really just sealed the deal. So yeah, it was a little bit of strategy, but I really didn't expect those two to get racing like they did. Yeah. All
right, sorry. Go ahead, Alex. He's all yours again.
All right, well, I just had one final question. I mean, you mentioned you went back-to-back at Imola and now at Phillip Island. What is your thoughts next week as we head to Phillip Island? How do you think you're going to do there? Or, excuse me, wow, not Phillip Island. I completely read that wrong. Phillip Island does not sound like Mosport. How do you think you're going to do next week at Mosport?
Honestly, I looked at the season schedule and I thought these first three races were going to be my toughest races of the season. I didn't really know these tracks too well. Mosport may be a little bit hard, but I can't wait for Mid-Ohio. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, so been to that track a couple times. I think I'm going to be really strong there, but Mosport, we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, that's all I got. You got anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast. Greg Brockway, Mitchell Peak, Ray Lombardi. I gotta thank my mom and dad for getting me started in this whole deal. My grandpa for helping me through quarter midgets. All this stuff. I've been racing for the past 8 years, and all those 8 years, anyone that helped me throughout that way got me to this point. So thanks, everybody.
All right, well, I'm sure they will all appreciate that. Congrats on the win tonight. That's all we got for you, unless Adam has something left to say. But looks like that's all we have for you. I'm going to drag you back. Congrats on the win, and good luck next week.
Thanks.
All right, and that was Camden Hibbett, your overall winner in the pro class. And Adam, I believe you are on standby with Sean Hayes, your open class winner tonight.
I am. Sean. Where do we start, my friend? Do we start with the decision to take 4 tires in the pits and spin on your outlap? Do we, I mean, just walk me through
the highlights
and tell me when exactly you thought that the race was over for you and to come back and win it. I've got no words.
Lap 1 was a little frustrating, but you know those things happen. So I was really just trying to stay as smooth as possible, and if I could get a draft, stay with it. I think I was with Zabelski and somebody else, Williams maybe. I can't recall. And snuck past on the home straightaway. And then suddenly everyone was pitting, and I was looking at trying to remind myself of my strategy and say, okay, well, maybe I'll get a chance to lead a lap. That didn't happen because one of the stars was staying out, so I followed him in, thinking, okay, well, if I can stay with him and again have some kind of draft, that would be awesome. And I worked out that if I stay out long enough, assuming that was right, I could take 4 tires and still get out with the amount of fuel I needed. And that worked out. However, the gods of spin visited me as I lost my draft, and I was thinking, oh man. So I just enjoyed a scenic drive for the remainder of the race, and then I heard some voice traffic saying, watch out, and then that was behind me, and then suddenly I saw Ashley in front of me, and I thought, oh man, that's just bad luck. And then I was thinking, oh, I'm catching her. And I think, yikes. Okay, well, let me just see if I can catch her. And then I think, okay, maybe she's out of fuel. And then confirmed as I breezed past. And I was thinking, man, this is the luck has come back to me. So I saw Ashley up front, and I was thinking, I'm never going to get there. And that was true. I would never have got there. So it was nice of her to come and join me. But unfortunate that it was under those circumstances, because she's been driving, pretty well, and putting everybody to shame. And there's me trying to, maintain something there. I get the open pole and enjoy that briefly, and then then I'm back where I should be. So coming out of it with a win, yikes. I could see everybody in front of me, and I just wasn't getting close enough, so I was just settling for 10th. But yeah, come out of it with at least second in class or whatever it was, and coming home 9th. It's unfortunate for Ashley, of course, but it's happened to me before too. And I've pitted about 12 times, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to. I don't want to cause any issues between you and Rui Coimbra, but I do want to give you a shout out. No matter what happened, we aren't stewards up here. The save that you had was immaculate, and that could have very easily ended your race. And for you to even have
that's what I was expecting. Yeah, and I was thinking, man, I'm still on. If as long as I can. As I was joining the track, I remembered reading the rules saying, make sure you have a safe rejoin of the track.
Yes.
That was flashing through my mind, so I was concentrating on that.
You did a great job on that re-entry and was able to get yourself, back straight again, back down, going the right way on the track. And then, man, the spin, with after your pits, I was like, there's no way. But, the scenic drive,
I laughed too.
The scenic drive you were talking about, the scenery got a whole lot better when you saw that red and black car in front of you, I'm sure. But congratulations there on your first place in the Open. And you did come home 9th overall. That's going to give you and Ashley, at this point, you guys are only going to be 1 point apart with 4 races to go after this. So you guys have got a battle on your hands. How are you looking forward to the next 4 races?
Well, as ever, Brockway, Peak and Lombardy put on a great race, so I'm happy to be part of it. I like Mosport, getting used to Ohio, and I can't remember the others, but it's enjoying it immensely, and it's nice to always have a challenge. Even whether I'm up front or a little bit further back, there's always something there. And no matter what you do, as happened this evening, race to the end, race to the flag.
Yeah, no, you did an absolutely amazing job at that, Sean. Before I let you go, man, anybody you want to shout out, anybody you want to thank for your what seemed like an impossible Open class win tonight?
I thank Mr. Perseverance and Mr. Patience and Mr. Smoothness, because they helped me a little bit tonight. And as I said before, Brockway, Peak, and Lombardi again for pulling this together and organising, and you guys for standing and watching and talking about us and being polite all the time and giving us something to look back in slow motion and enjoy, and all of the commentary you provide. So that's. Look forward to next week.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for your shout out, and really couldn't happen without the people that put it together. So really heartfelt there. So Sean, thank you so much, and Hopefully, we talk to you again soon. It's going to be really close here, the next few races coming down the pipe. So really looking forward to it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good evening.
That was Sean Hayes there, the Open Class winner, 9th overall. Alex, holy crap.
That's just absolutely insane race. I'm really looking forward to next week at Mosport. That's going to be another insane race with that Andretti straightaway and the sweeping corners at that place. God, that's going to be an amazing race.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. If it's anything like this one, it cannot get much better. But we've said that before about Spec-5, Alex, and it always seems like it does. But before we let you go tonight, and Alex, before I let you close out the stream, we got some upcoming broadcasts here that we want to share. This Sunday, November 13th, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time, we've got the VW Beetle Lights at Bark River. Cross Series League Racing, that is their second to final race of the season. Yours truly has a championship locked up, but there is only a 1-point difference between second and third place. So tune in for that one. Next Thursday, November 17th, we got the Dallara IR18s around Nürburgring GP for WSRL IndyCar Series. Always a great series. They have just gotten better and better as time has gone on. And yeah, tune in for that one. But if you like Miatas more, come to us instead. Thursday, November 17th at 9:50. You know what? Watch them both. Split screen it. Pull up your both two YouTubes and watch them both. Help slow motion broadcasting out. But yeah, Thursday, again, November 17th, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Mazda MX-5s. It says Mid-Ohio. That is completely wrong. That is supposed to say Mosport. We are at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park next weekend. So, yeah, Alex, upcoming broadcasts are done. Go ahead and close us out, my man.
Well, that was just absolutely electric race, but that's going to do it for us. My name is Alex Andersen. I've been joined in the commentary booth by Adam Thompson, who has also been in our virtual production truck. So give a round of applause to him. He pulled a great double duty here tonight. But from race 3 of season 11 of the Spec-5 World Tour from Phillip Island Circuit, we'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.